Ladies and gents, welcome back. It's another Friday. Hey, it's been a crazy week. Has it ever? Holy cow, these weeks are bleeding together. Like everything is all happening in a short amount of time. And then I try to get this all going as quick as I can, but it always ends up last minute and just trying to get as much going in the chat as in with stories, things lined up to talk about here for this evening. A lot of this is going to be stuff that we covered during the week, but also getting into more details of it, and then some other things that just came up, as well as things that I didn't actually have the time to chat about and talk to everybody. Why don't we get this chat in here? So we can enjoy this with everybody. Okay, cool. Welcome, everyone. If this is your first time here, this is the channel where every morning I put out news stories. I try to do at least a few. It's been a little bit rough this week. I've been a little too much extracurricular stuff going on, so just catching up with a lot of other things. But here we go. And then every week, Monday through Friday, we do videos in the morning and then live stream in the evening, as well as a podcast on Thursday evenings. It's a whole lot going on these days, and we're not sure. Things might have to, some things might crack and might turn into other things, but we're seeing how it goes. We'll see how this all ends up. But hey, we're having a great time, and we're just trying to get the information out there. And sometimes we got to shift gears, and that's what I'm thinking, because I really want to push. I want to push against academia, because I really believe that academia is where a lot of this stuff is coming from, and I really want to push some focus towards that. Greets to you, man. Greets to you, my friend. Clyde is late. This is unforgivable. I'm not late. It's 6:33 right now. I've been talking for 3 minutes. We're not late. This is good. All right, welcome everybody. I see the numbers are climbing as we start this live stream. Got a bunch of people in the chat room. Hey, let me know in the chat where is it that you're coming from. I know we have a huge amount of Canadians that watch this channel, but it's not all Canadians in the channel. Let us know if you're from Canada. If you are, what province, what city, what town. If you're not from Canada, let us know. Let us know the country, prefecture, state, whatever happens to be. Let us know. I love seeing where everybody's coming from. Look right there, South Texas. Wow, we got Cranbrook, Alberta, Van Isle. Poke that like button. Yes, please hit that like button. It lets YouTube know who to recommend this out to, because obviously the way YouTube does things, I know they track us, they track everything that we're doing, they see all the things we like to look at, but they make a good profile of you, and what it does is it makes it easy for them to recommend things that would probably be good for you. Not just that, but if you're liking things and you're making comments and all this stuff is happening, what happens in the algorithm is it says, hey, there's a bunch of people like this individual. They'll probably like this too. Smash that like button. Let them know what you think is good. Here we are. Holy cow, Montreal. Hi, Clyde, Cowichan Valley, Vancouver Island. Nice. Smash that like button. Campbell River, Van Island. So many people from the island. The island feels so far away when you're on the mainland. It's funny. It's like, because of the communist ferry system that has occupied our country on the West Coast, it feels like you have to like do this like big travel to get to the island. You got to wait for the ferry. There's not too many sailings. If you don't make the sailing, SOL, you're waiting longer until there's another sailing. There's no other options, because guess what? It's controlled by the government. Wow, it's like it's like the mail service, right? Nobody goes really to the mail service anymore. You go right to FedEx. You go right to all the other providers. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice when it comes to getting on a boat and going across to the island. So yeah, it's one of those things. It feels like so much further away. I feel like I could get to to Toronto faster from the Vancouver area. But that's it. Welcome back, Clyde. Well, thank you. I've been back for a little bit, but this is how it works. You probably haven't been getting notifications because when you drop out for a bit, you drop out for a bit, right? And YouTube doesn't send out those recommendations as much, but that's the way it goes. Hey, from Temagami, Ontario, Clyde. Hey, Kevin Watson, welcome. Welcome to everybody. Holy cow, I'm from Zanzibar. Is that really a real place? Vesper, are you really from? No, you're not from Zanzibar. I know you, and I like your designs. I definitely do. And we're showcase those this week. A lot of people like it. A lot of people liking what you're putting out there. Over 800,000 people on the island now. Used to be great, but now it's overcrowded. Well, yeah, that's always how it goes. Always how it goes. Hello, Clyde. I'm a YouTuber from Montreal. The pleb reporter. Never heard of him. It's like, yeah, no, go check out the pleb. He's awesome. Hey, buddy, jumping in. Love you from Snottawa on Terrible. Yep, yeah, we all have our opinions about that town. Absolutely. There's a there are some good people there. There are some good people. I guess that the some good people myth, as we've heard before. I'm gonna pull this out here so I can see the number of likes that are on the channel right now, or on the video right now. Come on, guys, we could do better than that. We got 204, 211 people watching, 116 likes. Let's get that way up. Let's make it. Pleb was just on live, not too shabby. Did you have a good live stream, Pleb? I'm seeing it. People are sending me links to it. Okay, Friday night with the Pleb. Yeah, a little early for me. So I'm on the West Coast, so this is a thing. I just finished work. I just was able to have a quick shower and have dinner with the family, and then it's right back at it. Fridays are busy for me. Yes, I'm gonna host a lead in your show. Okay, sure. Right now, I watched the ads. I can only speak it once. So, or I can only spank it once. Jeez. Clean Clyde. Well, I'm a mechanic. I'm filthy when I get home. I am not going to get into this live stream all covered in dirt and then, no thanks. I'd rather be able to chill and relax and enjoy this. But hey, welcome everybody. We're getting going in this stream. I like to give people a little bit of a chance to get into the room, not miss too much before we get into some of these stories. Yeah, the like button. Get that. Yeah, you can only spank it once. Absolutely. My like button is gas powered. Yeah, there you go. All right. So what's been going on in Canada? Canada's been having a fun week this week. Well, Trudeau has not been having a fun week. The big Trudy having a hard time and trying to shift gears. And one of the best ways to do that is to start engaging with people. Maybe get out there and do that. Well, Trudeau's not been really well known for that. I mean, there was the big pandemic that took place, and when people said, hey, Big Trudy, really not keen on your policy. Well, I don't have time to talk to you. I'm not taking requests. Okay. But people are losing their jobs here. How about we talk about that? Yeah, I don't think so. I'm not really taking requests. Okay, well, here's the deal. We're all going to come there and talk to you. So people got in their trucks and they went all the way to Ottawa and Terrible and went to talk to him. Got sick. Bummer. Gotta go hide in the cabin. Hide in the cottage. And well, yeah, that's it. Tell us about Trudy, Clyde. Yeah, will do, Lisa. Will do. So he wasn't a big fan of talking. Wasn't a big fan of debate. Doesn't really like to show up to the Parliament during question period. Does not like the leader of the opposition asking him questions about le chien, China. Is that how you say China in French? No, I think that's a dog, is it not? Trudeau debate. He does. We're getting into that. Hey, why don't we get right into that? A great tweet from another comedian that I love from Canada, Uncle Hack of the Danger Cats, saying Trudeau finally debating in his weight class, freshman college kids. Woo! Here we go. Big Trudy doing what he can, reaching out to all those people out there, all the little people, just trying to say his piece, get out there. Anyway, let's see what he had to say to this college freshman. Wow. And it's hilarious too, because this is the Prime Minister of Canada. Politician should be strong with debates, master debater. That kind of caliber coming out of this man. But no, you just roll the clip.
Our dental program that is going to help low-income families be able to send their kids to the dentist. Would you support that?
I'm not fully into it. I just know.
Well, you don't think?
I'm for sure I'm against abortion.
Hang on. We'll put that aside for a second.
I was throwing some feelers out there. Never mind. Let me put this aside. I've got some other things that I can test out my sophistry on you. Let me jump to another wedge issue that will probably be an issue. Now, a lot of people are saying online today, actually, that this looks like this kid was a plant. We didn't get to see his face. Maybe he wasn't even a real, PPC supporter, because he claims to be a PPC supporter. I doubt that's an accurate assessment of what's going on, but I do see this as a perfect opportunity because, well, the Liberals wanted to shift the focus, and that's really the big deal. Now, there's a lot of heat coming down on Big Trudy this week, especially. It's been coming down pretty hard for just over a month, maybe going on 2 months now. When it comes to, let me get this chat in here. You guys can't see the chat. When it comes to the Chinese connection with the Trudeau, they had 8 years to do dental. Yeah, of course, they just did it right now. That was the little thing that they threw out there for Juggy, for Jimmy McJuggernuggets. Just throwing it out there. $400 for a checkup. Oof indeed. But yes, most people have dental attached to, their jobs. But there are some lower income people. You know what would be great? If lower income people just didn't have to pay exorbitant prices for food because of, taxes on carbon. The molecule of life, they call it, actually, in science. The molecule of life, they call it, and it's taxable. It's a bit like original sin, right? What we got here? Propagandist Alex Pearson on AM16 this week played a clip of PPC guy who questioned Trudeau on feticide. She claimed the kid was incoherent. She did admit Trudeau was distracting. Yes. Okay. Well, let's get into what he does here.
You don't think low-income families should have access to dental care?
So I think they should.
You think they should?
Yeah.
Pierre Poilievre and the Conservative Party voted against that.
Okay.
Do you think that every child should have rainbows and happiness? Well, I put it in the bill, and Pierre Poilievre voted against it. He voted against rainbows and happiness, folks. Happiness for children. Why could you vote against that? I wrote it in the bill. The bill that takes away all your rights. That bill that signs for just a blank check for whatever kind of thing that we want to spend on, all these earmark things that are in the bill. Well, we put rainbows and smiles and happiness in there for all children, and they voted against it. They voted against it. It's so funny how this works, and this is actually how it works. So when any of these issues come up, they have a bill that gets put in. It's we're providing dental to Canadians. Well, you provide healthcare to Canadians. The federal government funds healthcare to Canadians. through the provinces. How's that going? How is that going right now? In fact, I've got to share a story that someone sent me, and I forgot to link it up because it's not going well. Let me tell you, it is not going very well. Healthcare here in British Columbia, we're having a hard time. Good friend of mine sending me this article. I need to get Dr. Brian Day back on here because it's about this. I had him on the channel. This was going months and months ago, talking about the healthcare system in British Columbia and how it works in Canada writ large. And it is just backwards, absolutely backwards. Hey, how would you like your children's dental care to be put in the same plan as that? Well, you probably wouldn't. You probably wouldn't if you had any sense and if you knew what was up. But hey, why not? We're going to use this as a wedge issue and say, if you voted against that, you're just a terrible person. But have a look. Let's have a look-see. Why are we not loading? CBC Canada. Let's do this thing. JCBU undercover with the 220 super sticker. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Supreme Court dismisses BC doctor appeal in challenge over access to private health care. This is actually very tragic what's happened here. Decision ends Dr. Brian Day's 14-year legal battle to allow patients to go private if wait times are too long. We are the only developed nation in the world that has made it illegal for a private option to exist. Seriously, think about that for a second. We are the only country in the developed world that makes it illegal for our citizens to seek out a private option. Is that for everybody? Ooh, maybe not everybody. We're going to get into that. Canada's highest court will not hear an appeal from a Vancouver-based physician who has been challenging the healthcare system for over access to private care. The Supreme Court of Canada's decision Thursday ends Dr. Brian Day's 14-year legal battle to allow patients access to private care when the public system isn't able to offer timely care. Now, even in Germany, for example, they have in the law they can't go above certain wait times. We don't have that in our laws here in Canada. This is just another example, but they have private clinics. You can go to a private clinic, but if the wait times are too long, the government actually pays for it. The government will pay for you to go to a private clinic. And if the private clinics can't take you, they'll pay for you to go to another state. That's how universal care is supposed to work. Day, owner of the Cambry Surgery Center in Vancouver, claimed that the prolonged wait times for medical procedures violated two charter rights, including the right to life, liberty, and security of the person. In a way, it's very sad. It's a very sad day for Canadians, Day told CBC News after the decision was released on Thursday morning. Wealthy Canadians have always gone down to the United States for care. But where do middle income and lower income Canadians go? The answer is they're not allowed to go anywhere. They stay, they suffer, and they die on wait lists. This is the government and how it runs healthcare. So when Justin Trudeau says, "Hey, why wouldn't you want the government to give dental care to children?" They voted against that. Aren't they really bad? Aren't they really bad baddies over there in the Conservative Party? Being bad baddies, always batting it up and being bad. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Health care, of course. Unacceptable French. Derek, thank you so much. Member for 10 months. I have to use this milestone chat to get recognized and tell you I got no respect at all. And I can picture you doing the necktie thing. Absolutely. But yes, this is Justin Trudeau using this as, again, another wedge issue as it is. But that wasn't far enough. He's got to bring in one of the old wedge issues. And think what was going on in his head, he had the little hamster wheel from Wheel of Fortune or something. Which wedge issue from the 1990s are we gonna pull up? Is it gonna be gay marriage? Is it gonna be is it gonna be violence in video games? Is it gonna be no, it's coming on. Oh, let's land on the abortion debate. Ding 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 ding. Here we go.
Okay, so already you see the party you support. The party you support.
Yeah.
Doesn't.
I'm not fully
doesn't support.
conservative. I'm more PPC. I'm not really
More PPC.
Yeah.
Okay, so why is that? Why are you PPC?
I think they're mostly Christian. I think I'm against the vaccine mandate.
Okay, so mostly Christian. So you don't think we should be supporting Muslims?
I don't even know where we're going there. Holy cow. What? You're a Christian, so we shouldn't be supporting Muslims? Wait, what? I can understand if somebody wants to vote for a particular party because they feel that their religious conviction is more suited to that thing. It doesn't mean you don't support other people in the country that have other religious convictions. What about if you're a Christian? Wait, are you a Muslim? Does that mean you're anti-Buddhist? Like, what? No, it doesn't mean that at all. Good. So no, you can be one thing and not be anti everything else or anti specific things. Wow. Oh, Christian. So you're anti-Muslim. Nope. There's another wedge issue. That's from the early 2000s, but no, we got to go way back. To the 1990s and the abortion debate.
No, I think we should support everyone.
You should support everyone.
I think mainly liberal abortion is against Christianity. I think a lot of
okay. Do you think that women should have the right to choose what happens to their own bodies?
Personally, no.
I think that women should have the right to choose what happens to their own bodies. I think that they should not have to take a vaccine if they don't want to. And if they want to have a government job, I don't think that they should have to be forced to take a medical intervention for the sake of the government. But that's just me. I don't know. That's just me. Am I being a little bit too pro-choice on the medical intervention thing? Now, here's the thing. The abortion debate is one. Whoa, where'd the chat go? What happened there? Let's bring that back. The abortion debate is not a debate that's actually mainstream or on the table or on. For Justin Trudeau and especially the Liberals, when they came out with this campaign, I don't know what. I'm guessing this is what prompted it. But this past week, oh, sorry, I'm seeing Elon Musk in my timeline here. But let's find the tweet because it was up. I had it here. Yeah, right here. Oops, that's the whole picture. Let's bring this up again without bringing up the whole picture. Right after this hit the airwaves. Whoop. Here goes. The Liberal Party, Justin Trudeau and our Liberal team will always be proudly pro-choice. So the Conservatives aren't coming to the table and saying it's going away. That's not happening. It's not being debated right now, and it's not a thing. So he's trying to hash up old wedge issues that don't actually exist because hey, stop looking over at the Xi Jinping thing. Stop looking at the Trudeau Foundation and everybody jumping ship. let's stop looking at all that stuff. He wants to talk about pro-choice. Of course, when he put this out there, I said, well, always pro-choice?
Get vaccinated. And you know what? If you don't want to get vaccinated, that's your choice. But don't think you can get on a plane or a train besides vaccinated people and put them at risk.
So that's him spreading medical misinformation right there. That's the medical misinformation that was spread around, talking about transmission and the ability to stave off transmission by having had the intervention that everybody must have. You must have it if you don't want to have it. Well, We're not going to give you a choice. Oh, so not very pro-choice on that one. Well, it is your choice, but, you know, it may come at the cost of your entire way of life, your livelihood. We're going to set a wedge right between you and your family. We're going to convince the weak-minded that you are an evil person, and we're going to sick them on you. Wow. Yes, that happened. That definitely did happen for sure. So he's one to talk about being pro-choice. But what else did he have to say here?
No, you think you should be able to choose what happens to a woman's body?
Well, I think if they're sleeping around, they shouldn't be allowed to abort the baby. Personally, I'm pro-choice.
Wow. Oh, wait, you just say you're pro-choice.
No.
You're pro-choice. No, you're not pro-choice.
No, I'm pro. What's it called? Pro-life.
Okay, pro-life.
Yeah.
And you don't think women should be able to make choices what they do with their bodies?
With abortion, no. Personally, no.
Why not? Why not?
Because it's their choice to sleep around. They have to.
No. Whoa. That is. Oh, so a woman who is raped should be able to get an abortion?
I'd say that's. Sure, that's where it gets complicated.
No, it doesn't get complicated.
But that's
it's
like
either yes or no.
That's super specific example. So like
no. But it's an all too common example.
Like if
right? Women get raped all the time.
Yeah.
What? Is that true? They're getting raped all the time? What? Super chat, $11 from Funis. Thank you so much. Hey, Clyde, are you familiar with John Julian, the recent attempts to censor him? Both of you share the same ideas, and he's a great musical talent, really. What are the chances you can have him on? Well, I'm going to have to search him up. John Julian. I don't know him. I don't know who he is. So I'll look him up and then we'll see. We'll see moving forward if I can get in touch with him and see about that. Is he on YouTube? Is he, or was he on YouTube? What? John Julian? I know who he is. Is he being censored? You're talking about the guy who does the good Trudeau impersonations. Yeah. I wasn't aware that he was being censored. But yeah, it'd be fun to have him on the show. I'd love to have that. Anyway, well, I'll get more information about that later. So yeah, I'll look more into that. I got a tab open with that on there. Nothing sexual. Hard on. Clyde. Oh my God, he's the fake Trudeau. Yes, I get it now. I've shown some of the sketches. I just didn't recognize the name for sure. But here we go. So this is from Eva Chipiak saying, "Women get raped all the time, Justin Trudeau." So the solution to women get taped all the time is abortions. That's a typo there. Oops. What about prevention? Mental health support, marital support, economic support, etc. This cannot be real. And of course, yeah. People are saying, has anyone else noticed the seemingly copy-paste comments from establishment hacks regarding Trudeau's interaction with the young Canadian pro-lifer? Was it staged? Did everyone get the same memo? And it's, of course, all these NPCs. He's so smart and really good at these exchanges. Yeah, okay. Really good at these exchanges. So it says everybody. But yeah, on the crazy social media we have here. But let's look at some of these other responses. I couldn't get enough of this one clip that somebody showed here. Yeah, here it is. Here's a clip. Justin Trudeau, women get raped all the time. So what has he or the Liberals done to protect women? Why are high-risk sexual offenders being constantly released? Why are sentences so lenient?
Women get raped all the time, right? Women get raped all the time. Right? Women get raped all the time. Right? Women get raped all the time. Right? Women get raped.
So that is not a good clip. That is not a clip that he wants circling around on the internet, especially when he seems like not disgusted by those words, right? Most people would be disgusted by those words, absolutely. But hey, my question is, why do women get raped all the time in Canada after 8 years of Trudeau? That shouldn't be a thing. That shouldn't actually be a thing at all. Maybe if that's the norm, somebody's doing something wrong. Anyway, I put it out there because everybody was so excited. All the people on the Liberal side of things were excited about Trudeau and his strength and courage to debate a teenager on the street. But here we are. Okay, well, what's the courage really look like here? Liberals are praising Justin Trudeau because he so bravely debated a teenager, given that he's so talented, intelligent, and courageous. Who should he debate next? Please retweet for a larger sample size. I got 211 votes on Twitter. And, well, the options were a hobo, a coma patient, a Starbucks barista, or Joe Biden. And, well, the coma patient seems to be winning on the Twitter poll, but also here on the YouTube. I put it out with pictures, of course. Liberals are praising Justin Trudeau because he so bravely debated a teenager, given that he's so talented, intelligent, and courageous. Who should he debate next? A hobo, a coma patient, a Starbucks barista, or Joe Biden? And it looks like 52% of the 5.4 thousand people that voted on this poll are saying that they'd like to see him debate a coma patient next. Now, the runner-up, of course, is Joe Biden, and a lot of people answering in the comments to this poll are saying Joe Biden by a long shot because, well, those two are redundant. So, well, maybe that's the case. Maybe you should go debate Joe Biden. I don't know what they would talk about. They'd probably be in violent agreement with each other. Hey, so what have you done to destroy Canada? I'm working real hard in America at this. Oh, man. Come on, man. I'm trying. Doing their best. Doing their damnedest, of course. But that's where we are. I voted for the hobo, too. Oh, I thought it was fitting. I mean, you just... the best part is you wouldn't talk to the 10,000 truckers. Oh, amazing. I think I actually tweeted something about that earlier. What was it in my timeline? I said something along the lines of, you wouldn't debate truckers. Why is he doing that? Oh, there's so much going on out there. Oh, I did another poll this week. I was just trying to be funny. All Canadians are apathetic and indecisive. Yes, no, or show the results. There's an amazing amount of people actually hit show the results with that apathetic answer. Maybe with the combined results giving us an astounding yes on that poll, even though it looks like no was winning that one. Another story came out this week which really killed me. And I'm not going too much into this Bud Light stuff this week. I'll talk about a few things because this is kind of funny. So CTV News did a story saying Bud Light's exclusive ad campaigns are good for business, experts say. And this wasn't before the Dylan Mulvaney stuff. This is after, of course, CTV News doing the best they can. I fixed their headline, though. I said CTV News experts say losing billions of dollars overnight is good for business. Oh, man. Yeah. I guess that is that what they're saying. Now the woman who is at the helm of Bud Light, and this is what I kind of really want to talk about when it comes to this stuff, and why these people are so completely out of touch. They're so completely out of touch. I don't have the clip handy, but the lady, I don't know if you guys have all seen it. Maybe I should pull up the clip. Maybe I can find it on Twitter. Bud Light CEO or Anheuser. It'll probably be under Bud Light CEO. Bud typos. Bud Light CEO. I'm sure we'll find the clip really quick. The reason why this individual was so out of touch was an ideological thing. And I think it's amazing. Here we go. I've got the clip here. Hopefully it's not a mashup. This is the actual clip. Just listen to the words this individual is saying. So this person was brought on, you know, went through all the academia, brought it into place, had a great career going for her. She was interviewed on this other show, you know, very motivated, hardworking, doing all the right things, go to university, get your degrees, go into the business world, do what you can. And then it turns into this. And this is just so tone deaf. Like, there's no way you can, and I'll get the chat back in here, but it's so tone deaf to the actual state of things in normal people lives that you really have to reflect on this. Let's just have a listen.
I'm a businesswoman. I had a really clear job to do when I took over Bud Light. And it was, this brand is in decline. It's been in decline for a really long time. And if we do not attract young drinkers to come and drink this brand, there will be no future for Bud Light. So
Okay, so that's actually true. All of that is true. And we'll get to that. But all of that is true. The Bud Light has actually been in decline. Not that they're absolutely, but the whole industry has been in decline. All your standard run-of-the-mill top-end beers, or top-end, but like, you know what I mean. The ones that do all the advertising on Super Bowls and stuff have been in decline for a good amount of time. So what's her diagnosis of this?
I had this super clear mandate. It's like, we need to evolve and elevate this incredibly iconic brand. And what I brought to that was a belief in, okay, what does evolve and elevate mean? It means inclusivity. It means shifting the tone. It means having a campaign that's truly inclusive and feels lighter and brighter and different and appeals to women and to men. And representation is at sort of the heart of evolution. You've got to see people who reflect you in the work. And we had this hangover. I mean, Bud Light had been kind of a brand of fratty, kind of out of touch humor. And it was really important that we had another approach.
Okay. Let's take that apart. Fratty humor, the whole idea that we're out of touch. It's out of touch. You know, Bud Light needs to evolve and turn into this new thing. So how do we do that? Well, SJW stuff. But where did she even get this idea? Now, in actuality, what has come about that's actually led to the decline? So what we're seeing is a misdiagnosis, right? So this individual had a misdiagnosis of what the actual issue was. She was just wrong, straight up wrong. And that could be on its face, that could be fine enough. She could be wrong, make a bad decision, and you know, it doesn't work. It doesn't help. It's not helpful. That's not what happened. But it wasn't helpful, that's for sure. But what happened was she actually made a misdiagnosis. Now, a lot of people initially, when the Dylan Mulvaney thing happened, they thought this is malicious. They're doing this on purpose because it's malicious. I'm starting to think differently now. I'm actually starting to think differently now. Hear me out. So she made a misdiagnosis on why the company was in decline in the first place. Why was there a decline of sales on Bud Light and actually a number of other products? So even Budweiser, Bud Light, Corona, everything that Anheuser-Busch has, and not just Anheuser-Busch, but all the other leading brands as well. Why? Well, there's been a bunch of things that have happened in that timeline. Weed's become legal in a lot of places. So a lot of people that would normally be, you know, drinking beers have gone and switched to smoking weed, and they're not drinking beers anymore. Trish Prue with the $11 super chat. Thank you so much. Fake women advertising fake beer. Yeah, there you go. It's true. It's beer pretending, or water pretending to be beer, advertised by men pretending to be women. But I mean, who drinks Bud Light anyway? Jeez. Sure. But here's the deal. Misdiagnosis. So people started smoking pot. So you see a ton of decline. Did you know that Budweiser was one of the biggest lobby groups to keep pot illegal? They had a stake in that. So, but they lost that battle, and they've been losing value ever since. The other one is craft beer. Craft beer has taken a huge chunk of the industry anymore, and it's thousands and thousands of these craft breweries in local areas that people are drinking those beers instead, and that's just a fact. Then there's the other thing of, global trade. We have more global trade. It's easier for you to get things like my favorite beer. I drink Asahi. I love Asahi Super Dry, and that's the one beer that I like to drink. But that's just me. You can choose whatever one you want. But this is why there was a decline in sales for Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch, and a bunch of other companies. So she, first off, misdiagnosis. Okay, that's fine. It's not because it needs to be hip and square, or hip and whatever. You gotta appeal to the young crowds, the fratty thing. No, the fratty behavior is actually what brings more sales to that company, because that's the clientele that are buying crappy beer. Let's just put that out there. People are buying crappy beer because they can't afford better. Really, that's what it is. If piss can piss, it would be Bud. That's it. That's it. But instead, what do? We decide we're gonna bring in Dylan Mulvaney as the lead for that. You can't make that up. Can't make it up. Funny that
I'm James O'Keefe.
That was something that happened. James O'Keefe, who is formerly of Project Veritas, and now he's OMG Media. Or is it OMG Media Group? Okay, yeah. He found Dylan Mulvaney at a Four Seasons hotel and wanted to ask about some of the hot button issues at the time. I don't know why James O'Keefe decided to do this. It's kind of funny, but I mean, went nowhere. Well, we'll let you see.
With OMG News outside the Four Seasons Hotel in Beverly Hills, Dylan Mulvaney is inside the women's restroom right now, so I'm going to ask him for comment about our story regarding women being raped in prison by men claiming to be transgender. Here we go. Dylan, this is James O'Keefe, OMG. Women are being raped in a prison in Washington State by men claiming to be transgender. There's footage of them talking about the rape. Do you have a comment on the story here of the women being raped by the men claiming to be transgender? James O'Keefe, OMG News. What do you think about the women who are being raped by the men who are transgender? Do you have a comment about that?
Please don't come in the elevator with me.
What do you think about, what is your comment to the women who are being raped by men claiming to be transgender, Dylan? So we're here with Dylan here. Haven't had much Bud Light recently, but we're very interested in the women's prison. Dylan? Okay. She did go into she went into the women's restroom.
What the hell are you doing? This is a women's bathroom.
Trying to show them the footage. No comment here at the Four Seasons Hotel in Beverly Hills? All right. I wonder where she's going. He's going.
And then he goes in for some Bud Light. Now, what's funny is, I'll get to that. Oh yeah, the $27.99 super chat. Why does he not care about women, Clyde? I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that question. But you know what? In how do I put this? I gotta hand it to him. Did I say that right? I gotta hand it to him. It's Troglodyte, member for 3 months. Thank you so much. Teaching women how to be women. There you go. But you know what? There's something to be said about how irritating it is when somebody just doesn't let you go about your day, doesn't leave you alone, doesn't just mind their business. Somebody who's just gotta be there in your place, and, you know, harass you. And James O'Keefe wanted to ask some questions about that. Absolutely. Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing because the big actor with a wig. No, the big question here is, if they're going to be so in your face and intrusive in your life, why is it an issue when other people are being intrusive and in their lives and in their ways? I don't know. Just tit for tat, I guess. Tit for tat in that scenario. But this is some real stuff that's been happening. Bud Light obviously doing their best to destroy their brand, of course, and doing a bang up job of it. But what else do we have in the news? Something else I really wanted to touch on because I thought this was so pressing. And I really admire academia for doing the due diligence and spending money where it matters, right? When you do studies are not cheap. They're not free. Often they're paid for by government tax dollars, and then they go through universities, through academia, and then pay for studies to be made. And looking at data, looking at things, figuring out more things that can help us as human beings on this planet, and just make life so much better. CBC ran this new story talking about something that's just, I can't tell you how important this is for everybody. It looks like climate change, that's right, folks, climate change is making major league sluggers into even hotter hitters. No joke. Major league home runs increase as global warming affects air density, a study finds. Of course, this study didn't just happen at it. Why is this taking so long to load? What are you doing? What are you doing today, computer? What's happening with this? This is unusual business here. Maybe I have had way too many tabs open for way too long. That's unreal. Why am I still waiting? Let me hit stop and then refresh. And then it comes right away. Okay. Okie doke. Let's get this in here. Global warming juicing home runs in Major League Baseball. Dartmouth study finds. Players and executives say that research fits with what they've seen on the field. Wouldn't they be just saying that that's anecdotal? But whatever. And never mind that players have never been fitter. With like modern, understanding of the physiology, modern foods, diets, ways of exercising, focusing on particular muscle groups. I don't know. Maybe that has something to do. No, probably not. It's probably global warming. Climate change is making a major league slugger even hotter, making major league sluggers into even hotter hitters, setting an extra 50 or so home runs a year over the fences. A new study found, or fabricated, but hotter, thinner air that allows balls to fly further contributed to a tiny bit to surge in home runs since 2010, according to statistical analysis by New Hampshire's Dartmouth College. Scientists published on Friday. By the way, scientists got paid to do this. They got paid to do this instead of doing real science. I don't know. I would probably, figure out, how to cure cancer. There's probably a bunch of things we could be working on instead of that. But whatever, that's if that's important to you, whatever. Bulletin of the American Meteorological Society. They analyzed 100,000 major league games and more than 200,000 balls put into play the last few years, along with weather conditions, stadiums, and other factors. Global warming is juicing home runs in Major League Baseball, said study co-author Justin Mankin, a Dartmouth climate scientist. It's basic physics. Air less dense. When air heats up, molecules move faster and away from each other, making air less dense. Baseballs launched off a bat go farther through thinner air because there's less resistance to slow the ball. Just a little bit further can mean the difference between a homer and a flyout, said Alan Nathan, a University of Illinois physicist who wasn't part of the Dartmouth study. You just, yeah, sounds legit. And by the way, I'm a physicist, so put me in your news article. Nathan, one of the group's scientists who has consulted with Major League Baseball on increase in homers, did his own simple calculation based purely on known physics of ballistics and air density as it changes with temperature, and said he got the same results in the Dartmouth research. Golly. Yeah, no, it could never be anything but this. This is where we are. This is the clown world that we live in, everybody. This is where we are. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought I'd share that. I'm moving on from this because it is no longer worth my time in this particular bit. But I did want to get back to the proudly pro-choice thing because of how it gets tied in with the whole Chinese interference thing. Anyway, member for 6 months, Tempest, thank you so much. It's great to have you back and firing on all cylinders. Honk, honk. Yeah, I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be back at it, doing the usual thing. But let's get back at this story because I'm this one cracks me up. So why was it that they were trying to distract with this proudly pro-choice thing, and obviously getting a huge laugh out of everybody until they turn the comments off? I just love seeing the comments in the feed. But oops. Anyway, that was my my response. We saw that earlier. Here's another thing that Trudeau had in his very pro-choice handbook of pro-choice things that the Liberals have done, because they're ultimately pro-choice. Distract from a huge scandal of Trudeau Foundation. Hey, you got it. We are going to end this pandemic by proceeding with the vaccination. There's still a part of the population fiercely against it. They don't believe in science or progress and are very often misogynistic and racist, because that's what people who don't believe in science and vaccinations and stuff are. They're misogynistic and racist. They take up some space. They take up space, just like those people that the funny mustache man didn't like. He said a similar thing, didn't he? This leads us as a leader and as a country to make the choice. Do we tolerate these people? Do we tolerate these people? These are the words of a man in charge of a country who claims to be pro-choice. People should be allowed to do the things that they want to do with their own bodies, he says. Now, in the abortion argument, there is the argumentation that it's not your body. This is another individual, another human being's body. So, I mean, that's always left out. The timeline stuff is left out. But at the end of the day, again, it's not an issue that's being discussed it's not even being brought up by the opposition. And that would be the only time when it would be on the table. Now, Of course, finally debating in his weight class, freshman college kids. Thank you, Uncle Hack. By the way, we're going to have Uncle Hack on the channel at some point here. He's on a tour at the moment, I believe. He was out here in Vancouver. I missed the show. And then he went out to Ontario, so I wasn't able to catch that. He was the very next day after the Ben Bankus show. I went and saw Ben Bankus, and that was great. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, moving on. Xi Jinping pledges, I stand with Trudeau. I stand with Trudeau was trending, so I put out this cheeky tweet of a little bit of fiction, but it seems legit anyway. Xi Jinping pledges, I stand with Trudeau during a wave of unpopularity for the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau. Xi also vows to contribute again to the Liberal Party of Canada in the next election, stating they were so happy to take our money the last few times. Because, well, absolutely. Here's from Andy Lee on Twitter. I'll get this out of the way so you can read it. Justin Trudeau meets with businessman Niu Gensheng at this Meech Lake House short months after his brother, I don't know if you pronounce that Alexander or Alexandra Trudeau, accepted the tainted donation to the Pierre Elliott Trudeau Foundation that's claimed to have originated from the Chinese government to buy influence. You can't make this up. But what happens? Well, immediately after all this news starts to hit, bam comes the see you laters. Stephen with an S, welcome. Thank you for joining in as a member of the channel. I'm gonna have to start making those perks over in the Discord. I believe I started a channel that's members only. So members of the channel, if you link your YouTube account with your Discord account, you can actually be your membership extends into the Discord server as well, which is a fun perk that Discord and YouTube have arranged, and I think that's pretty cool. If you don't know what Discord is, the Discord server, the link is down in the description down below. Trish Prue, member for 6 months. Hey, thank you. Fundraising at its finest. Trudeau increasing the unemployment line. Absolutely. Now, what's really interesting about that, and we'll get into this in a moment, just after, well, actually, let's get into this right now. So here's an article from back in 2015. This is from the Narwhal publication. And what is this? This is from November 8th, 2015. And it's talking about Trudeau instructs minister. By the way, Trudeau just got in office at this point. Trudeau instructs Minister of National Revenue to free charities from political harassment. What would be considered political harassment? I don't know. Now, they guised this behind environmental charities. Environmental and left-leaning charities can breathe a sigh of relief now that Prime Minister Trudeau has given them the opportunity to launder money through their... Sorry, that's not what it reads. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has instructed Minister of National Revenue, Diana Labor Thriller, it's a hard one to pronounce. Labor Thriller. I'm just going to go with Labor Thriller. To modernize Canada's archaic charity law and clarify rules around allowable political activity. What is this about? I don't know. It sounds very interesting to me, doesn't it? Oh, with an understanding. Oh, Trudeau wrote, the ministry should allow charities to do the work on behalf of Canadians free from political harassment, Trudeau wrote in a ministerial mandate letter Friday, with an understanding that charities make important contribution to political debate and public policy. Wait, so they can contribute to political debate and not be given scrutiny by politics? Wait, what? That doesn't seem right. The new mandate signals a remarkable change in the tone from at the time's aggressive stance of the former government. Oh, wait, so they were pretty aggressive against the conservative charities. As soon as they get in, like, let's make it really, really easy. Let's make it really easy for these charities. In 2002, the Harper government allocated $13.4 million to the Canada Revenue Agency for audit of charities to determine if groups were in violation of rules that limit their spending on political activity. Oh, wait. Oh, so it was really not about conservative stuff? It was just about conservative allocating resources to go after charities that were basically skirting the rules. Violation of rules that limit their spending on political activity to 10% of the resources. The program also instituted new reporting for charities receiving foreign funding. Oh my goodness. Why does this sound so familiar? Why does this sound like something that maybe we're discovering about right about now? The audit program was launched in the wake of former Natural Resource Minister Joe Oliver's famous open letter, which he accused environmental organizations participating in the Northern Gateway Pipeline hearings of foreign-funded radical groups intent on hijacking our regulatory system. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Why not? If it's foreign funding that's going through this and funding political campaigns, yeah, political campaigns such as shutting down pipelines. This is, if you don't think that that's a political issue, good golly, I don't know where to start with you. Many environmental charities felt they were targeted by the investigation and said sometimes multiple successive audits left them strapped for resources, intimidated, and unable to carry out their mandates. Well, it depends on what their mandates were. Environmental charities under audit include Equiterre, the David Suzuki Foundation. We all know what happened to that guy. Forest Ethics, Tides Canada, West Coast Environmental Law, the Pembina Foundation. Did I read that right? Pembina Foundation, the Sierra Club, the Ecology Action Center, and Environmental Defense. Critics also pointed that the right-leaning charities that clearly engaged in political activity, such as the Fraser Institute and C.D. Howe Institute, were spared from the audits, even though their activity appeared to violate CRA rules. Well, that's an opinion. A report. Anyway, this is Justin Trudeau just before getting a donation from the Chinese Communist Party. Oh, goodness. Just before laxing up them rules. Ooh, giving it a big old dose of laxative on the regulation. Now, this is so funny because isn't this always the charge? The charge is, you know, conservatives get into government and then they deregulate the market. Then the market does all these things. Well, what about deregulating these kinds of things? Like, I don't know, charities and money laundering. Anyway, Tempest with the gift of 5 memberships to the channel. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Everybody get in the chat that got a membership and give Tempest a big thank you. He just gave you a membership to the channel. Amazing. Thank you so much. So this is where we are. So what happens? Well, a bunch of Chinese men give some crazy donations to the Justin Trudeau Foundation. Now, years go by. Now, this donation was accepted, happily accepted. And then we found out about it, and then they're in a scramble to give it back. Turns out, well, it's hard to find out where to give it back to. And where do we have information on? I had a bit right here. You mean to tell me it appears the PMO knew about the donation even though they were told they didn't? So this is some information coming out about the PMO. Now let's get into here. The Prime Minister's office asked questions about Chinese donation. Although Justin Trudeau has always claimed that a wall separates his office from the Trudeau Foundation that bears his father's name, La Presse obtained an email exchange dated November 2016. What is this email exchange? Where a key employee of the Prime Minister's office asked for details of the Chinese donation, which had been made only a few months earlier. The exchange occurred on Thursday, November 24th, 2016, 5 months after the donation agreement worth $200,000 to the donation was signed by Zhang Bin and Zhengxing Niu, I don't know how to say this, and also by Alexandra Trudeau, brother of Justin Big Trudy, and a member of the foundation's board of directors at the time. There are no members anymore. This exchange of email, which was the foundation's executive director at the time, Elise Comtois, and Zita Astravas, who was then Prime Minister Office Director of Issues Management. As requested, you will find below the key elements that were provided to the media who contacted us regarding the donation of $200,000 from Zhang Bin and Gensheng Niu, writes Miss Comatose. Comtois. I'm sorry. I'm like my mispronunciations are really cracking me up tonight. Is that Miss Comtois? I don't know. The executive director then describes the main points of the donation agreement. It indicates that the foundation is an independent and nonpartisan organization, that the law faculty of the Université de Montréal will also receive a donation. The negotiations on the donation began in September 2014, and the public signing ceremony took place on the 1st of June. It then details the sums involved both for the university and the foundation. Mr. Zhang and Mr. Genseng objective with this donation is solely to support conferences and similar events to be organized by the foundation beginning in 2017 on China's role in the world and Canadian relations. Hey, that sounds like influence. On press was not able to read the full exchange between the two women. It is therefore not known that precisely Miss Astravas' request was. We also do not know who initiated these exchanges. Justin Trudeau distancing himself again on Thursday. Justin Trudeau repeated in Regina that he had not interfered in the affairs of the foundation for 10 years. Once the time of his election had as head of the Liberal Party of Canada. As people know, I haven't been involved with a foundation that bears my father's name in any way for about 10 years, and I continue to be, he answered when he asked of a journalist who asked him if the Trudeau Foundation had properly managed the affair of the Chinese donation. Elise Comtois and Zita Astravas declined our interview request. Ms. Astravas referred to our questions to the Prime Minister's office. This matter received considerable attention at the time in the media and in the House of Commons, and it is common and normal for the cabinet staff to gather information on matters in which the Prime Minister is interviewed, said Anne Clara Valancourt, Justin Trudeau's press secretary. So this is Andy Lee saying, you mean to tell me it appears the Prime Minister's office knew about the donation, even though we were told that they didn't, despite the fact that Justin Trudeau himself met the donor in person just 2 weeks before his brother attended the signing ceremony with Zhang Bing? Who saw that coming? Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And this is this is where we are. This is where we are with with this. Oh, goodness golly. And it is not looking good for Trudeau. No, not at all. Oh, I've got too many windows open here. But yeah, of course, statement from the Pierre Elliott Trudeau Foundation, resignation of the board of directors and the president and CEO. It looks like the circumstances created by the politicization of the foundation have made it impossible to continue with the status quo, and volunteer board directors board of directors has resigned, as has the president and CEO. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that just absolutely amazing? When have you ever seen a situation where someone was completely innocent of a thing say, you know what? I'm just going to back out of here. When everything was on the up and up and it's completely kosher and legit, going, I think it's time that I step away from this thing. Oh boy. Weird, eh? Yeah, it's so weird, eh? Oh boy. But yeah, that was the Trudeau Foundation, of course, people saying we need them saying discover, inspire, change over your entire board of directors. That's what you gotta change. And that's where we are with that. Unbelievable. I don't even know if there's anything else to cover on this. I mean, Trudeau really damaging the brand for the Liberal Party. I don't know how they're going to continue. Vesper Designs, of course, putting this one out there. I'll get the chat out of the way so you can see this. This is the Liberal Party, and it is now just a trash heap. It is absolutely a trash heap. And I know that there are so many people out there that just they wanna do the liberal thing, because they just hate the conservatives and they think whatever but the liberals. But the party has been destroyed. Like, Justin Trudeau has absolutely destroyed the entire party and anything that they did stand for in the past, with the most corrupt administration we have ever seen in this country. It is crazy. It is crazy what we are seeing here. And of course, Pierre Poilievre talking about Trudeau again, obviously, but talking about just the Canada that we live in anymore. Normal couple of days in Trudeau's Canada. Just talking about the days of the week here. Sunday morning, Burnaby man arrested for shoving passengers at a SkyTrain station, attempt to stab police officer after being confronted. Tuesday morning, Calgary, a victim shot on the bus, now critical condition, 2 people taken into custody, another suspect at large. Tuesday morning, also in Montreal, 19-year-old stabbed in a Montreal Nord École. I think that's a northern school. I think that's the victim is now hospital with serious injuries. Tuesday afternoon, Calgary police discover a corpse in a suitcase. Good. Wow. That's what defunding the police will get you. Tuesday night, Toronto, man stabbed on a TTC bus. Suspect on the run. Early Wednesday, Vaughan, 2 men shot, 1 assaulted, all in hospital. No arrests made. Wednesday, Edmonton, police reveal a 35-year-old Gabriel Dumont was shot to death in an apartment building. Wednesday afternoon, Edmonton, a teenager was attacked in a mall. The boy is now in serious condition. Wednesday evening, Surrey, 17-year-old boy, Ethan Best, I can't pronounce that, fatally stabbed on transit bus. No arrests made. Wednesday night, downtown Calgary, 20-year-old shot dead. Another injured from gunshot wound. This morning, Edmonton, 48-year-old man was randomly stabbed. His critical condition, suspect at large. Calgary man, on this morning, a man was stabbed on a bus. He's being treated in a hospital for injuries. Police are searching for the suspect. This is just a couple of normal days in Trudeau's, Big Trudy's Canada. This is where we're at. This is where we're at with this, folks. Unbelievable. How could this be? The Liberal government apparently lifted 1.4 million Canadians, including children, out of poverty. It is now reported that 1 in 4 children are using food banks. Something doesn't add up. In 8 short years, the Liberal government has driven 11 million Canadians into poverty. And now, if you want change, if you really want things to change, and you want people to get upset, you want people to get angry, you want people to get up there and actually do something about what's going on, well, nothing inspires people to get up and do something than hunger. And this is where we are. Liberal Party patting themselves on the back here with this tweet. Liberal Party, between 2019 and 2020, over 1.4 million Canadians were lifted out of poverty, including 332,000 children and 162,000 seniors. There's still much more to do, and we'll continue working to ensure that all Canadians have what they need to succeed. Liberal Party budget 2023 provides crucial relief to 11 million Canadians with a new grocery rebate. It's up to $467 for a family of 4, $234 for a single Canadian, and $225 for seniors. Why are seniors getting less than single Canadians? I don't know. Was that on purpose? Like, for real? Like, seriously, really? Is that something? Here we go. OECD countries house price to income ratio. Hey, if we're gonna be number one at something, Canada, let's just make it housing. We have the most expensive housing to income ratio in all of the developed world. Nice. Proud of you, Canada. Proud of you. That's amazing. Isn't that just fantastic? I can't believe this. I can't believe it. This is what we're looking at. We were, in the mix there for a while, like Luxembourg and some of these other countries were beating us. No. We took it, and we didn't just take it by a bit. We took it by a long shot. We took that one right home with us. And of course, Canada Proud putting this out there. A quick summary of the Trudeau's tenure. Crushing the middle class. Yeah, that's it. Whoa, Mike T, you gotta watch what we say here. That's not allowed to say stuff like that. Even if you're feeling it, we can get ourselves in some deep old doo-doo for saying stuff like that. I'm gonna relieve ourselves from some of these tabs. Sorry, taking all the RAM on my computer to to put these tabs out there. One last little bit on this. Of course, Trudeau shifting the blame. It's never about him. It's never his fault. A lot of stuff from Real Andy Lee's show this week. Sorry, she's prevalent on Twitter, and right through my feed. A lot of it was coming up this week. So here we go. Here's Trudeau shifting the blame. It's never about him. It's never about all the mistakes he's made. But here we go.
How important the issue of foreign interference is, and I'm actually, pleased to contrast the approach that we've taken, which is with terms of reference for the rapporteur that's going to be coming out later today. People will see that there is an expert process that will dig into this in a non-partisan way, and people can contrast this with the kind of political circus that Mr. Poilievre is trying to generate. How important.
Political circus that Poilievre is generating. It doesn't generate itself like the budget, right? It doesn't balance itself. No, it's definitely Pierre Poilievre that's drawing attention to the fact that your political party was taking donations from China. Ooh, wow. Okay. Why do you think that's not a big deal? I think it's a big deal. I think that's kind of a big deal. In my opinion, sort of a big deal. That's where we are with that. Goodness. But I had some more about this grocery stuff. Bear with me. I got to pull up some tabs because holy cow. Now, we all got talking about groceries. Why? Because of Jimmy McJuggernuggets. He's got a real fascination with this new thing that he calls greedflation, and he wants to go. He's going after all the grocery store people. Chippy's Outdoors with a membership for 10 months. Thank you so much. Good evening. Did something crew. Yes. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for upping your donation or upping your membership and staying aboard. Thank you so much. Here we go. Jimmy McJuggernuggets with the grocery plan. and talking about greedflation.
And why should I?
And of course, not knowing how to balance music with what's being talked about in the video. Let's go. What he says here: skyrocketing grocery prices, soaring gas prices, record corporate profits. It can all be traced to one thing. Not carbon tax, no. Greedflation, he says. So what the heck is greedflation? Let me break it down for you. This is such a grift. It is like a horrible grift.
You're probably wondering what the heck is greedflation and why should I care? It's what's driving up the cost of living, groceries, gas, and literally everything else. It's inflation driven by corporate greed, aided and abetted by establishment liberals and corporate conservatives in Ottawa. One of the major drivers of inflation is corporations.
Come on, internet. Come on. What's going on? Well, it was a stupid concept anyway. Let me explain it. It's all greed. That's what's making it all get expensive. It's corporate greed. This is what's causing inflation. No, it has nothing to do with the fact that they just printed a crap ton of money leading up before the pandemic, and then when the pandemic happened, they told everybody to quit their jobs and printed a whole lot of money. Just kept printing. Money printer go burr. And yeah, well, the value of the dollar goes down, so all the prices go up for everything. No, it has nothing to do with that. And maybe it has nothing to do with the fact that, you know, when they tax fuel, wait. They put a tax on fuel. Well, what happens there? Wayne Allen with a $11 super chat, bouncing around wearing my kangaroo suit in front of the courthouse in Vernon again today. 9 out of 10 days. Wow, that's amazing. I've seen those pictures on Twitter. Somebody sent them to me. That's amazing. Awesome. So, carbon taxes. Do you think that it's not going to affect anything? Do you think it's just, oh, okay, my gas price is a little bit more expensive. My home heating bill is a little more expensive, and that's it? No. Okay, what you got to understand is that anytime a tax comes into any sort of market play, it always gets shifted down. This crap rolls downhill, right? Always. The person making food, like the farmer who's got to pay carbon tax to make crops, and yeah, they gave him a deal on their carbon tax. Yeah. So they got out of a carbon tax for a few little things. That doesn't change all the other things that they have to pay a carbon tax on. They still have to pay carbon tax on a number of other products. Do you think that when they manufacture their tractors, do you think when they make the oil for their tractors, do you think when they make all these things that those companies aren't paying carbon tax on those carbon products, and then they pass that down in higher prices to the farmer, and then the farmer has to raise his prices so he can stay afloat? Oh God. And then what happens? Well, now he's got to ship all the food that he's produced across the country to distribution centers, and then the distribution centers, they ship it out to grocery stores, and guess what? That all costs money. And do you think that they're going to pay that and just go, golly, I shouldn't eat this week because the carbon tax went up? No, they pass that on to you in the form of higher prices. So when the prices go up at the grocery store, geez, man, can you be any dumber? Greedflation. He has this thing about excess profits as well. Like, I've never heard of an excess profit. Have you ever heard of someone saying, like, you know what? Oh, it's been a great week. All those excess profits. No, excess profits. And I'll tell you again, if somebody's making excess profits, like say someone's making an exorbitant amount of money selling a widget or anything, what happens? All that does is it tells other people that, hey, there's not enough people in that market. I'm going to go sell those widgets too, because holy cow, that's lucrative. And then what happens? That introduces competition in the market. Then once that competition hits the market, then they got to undercut each other. And then it goes back to equilibrium, which is, a standard market cap, right? Well, it's not a market cap. It's just the market price, what people are willing to pay for a thing when there's other people out there providing the service. And this is one of the lessons that we learn about monopolies in an actual marketplace. Now, monopolies generally they have a hard time struggling, or cartels, they have a hard time struggling without the government coming in and actually enforcing the rules of the monopoly or the cartel. Because here's the thing. So a cartel works this way. It's basically a bunch of companies getting together to colluding against each other to raise the price of an item at the detriment of the consumer. That's a cartel. That's how a cartel works. But here's the problem. It's a bunch of different players that all really want to be on top, but they've agreed to not be on top and kind of figure it out with each other. But what are they always going to do? They're always going to stab each other in the back. They're always going to try to undercut each other and get the better share of the market. So what do? The first thing they do is they go to the government and they say, you know what? Our market needs to be regulated. Oh, is that what needs to be done? Yes. See, we all have this agreement that the prices should be here, but one of us might undercut another one of us. So we need you to regulate it so none of us can go against this agreement that we all have. And that's regulatory capture. That's essentially how that works. And well, monopolies work in a similar fashion. When you have a monopoly in an open market where anybody can participate in the market, what happens? Well, at a point, the monopoly is going to have, really, really high profits for the stuff that they put out there. And, well, other people want to join in that. So what do? They create regulation, which actually makes it's basically creating barriers to entry into the marketplace. And, that makes it harder for new players to join the market, and the monopoly will usually win out. We see that with minimum wage laws. Did you know that Walmart is one of the biggest lobby groups for raising the minimum wage? That sounds backwards until you really know how it works. Walmart moves into your town, and to weed all the other businesses out, they force them to pay higher wages. Walmart can handle it. They can pay the higher wages. Mom and pop places can't do it. So this is actually what they do. It's seedy. It's gross. Joe Lyman saying, and everyone in chat, next time you talk to someone complaining about capitalism, just aboard, shock them, say you absolutely hate corporatism. Yeah, that's true. It's horrible. I often tell people, capitalism isn't a good word for it. That was actually Karl Marx who is using that term as a critique of the market economy, saying that it's just the capitalists that are the rulers of the economy, people who own the capital. Now, that's not always absolutely correct. Now, anybody can be a capitalist. Anybody can own capital. It's the ability to put it to work. That's what really gets you somewhere in the market economy. But in our cronyism, we don't have a free market economy. We have a largely regulated market economy. And Murray Rothbard, who is a famous Austrian economist, said it best: when a market is regulated, the first thing to be bought and sold are the regulators. Absolutely. And that's where regulatory capture comes in. I like the idea of free enterprise and markets being able to do things, but people will often fall into this trap of saying, hey, I think it would just be better if the government were to, run run industry, and that would help out so much because, you know, if the government were to run the industry, then we would be able to survive. And, you know, the government's always got our best interests at play. That's always the case, is it not? I'm sure it's always the case. Yeah, until it isn't the case. And it isn't many, many times. But there is a tiny group of people that will always argue for the government to step in and take over industry. I mean, healthcare before the government took over was just healthcare. It was people providing services for each other. Now the government's involved. Aren't they doing a bang-up job? They want to get into dental. Aren't they doing a bang-up job? Won't they be doing a bang-up job? What are other industries that the government's been involved in? Hey, you want to go to Vancouver Island? Neither do I, because the government runs that ferry system. Here we go. But what else are people crying that the government run? Well, here's Andrew Lawton saying on Twitter, this survey says 4.5% of Canadians want a government-owned grocery store. I'm against it, but it would be hilarious. A dazzling display of mediocre grocery, CanCon, maple syrup, Tim Hortons, Saskatoon berries, and and tragically hip on repeat while you shop. There are actually people talking, no joke, about we should have a government-run grocery store in Canada. Well, wow. Wouldn't that be a great idea? Has anyone ever tried that? Oh, wait, what is this? Yes, government-run stores in the USSR. The image here, people lined up to get into a government-run grocery store in the USSR. This is real. This is something that people did. I think it was, was it Gorbachev? When he came over to the United States at one point to do a diplomatic mission, and he went into a grocery store and he was just completely wowed that poor Americans had amazing selection for food, much better than rich people in Russia did. You can't make that up. It's serious. But this is also serious. It was Khrushchev. Okay, sorry. I heard about it. But it's amazing. It's wow. Wow. That people are actually asking this. What, Yeltsin? He then went back to his hotel and cried. Okay, so it was Yeltsin. Now I don't know. Because everybody's saying different names. Why don't they form a co-op? Well, because communism's always easy when somebody else does the work. I don't want to do the work. The government can do the work. You should do the work. That's always how it goes. That's how this always goes. No socialist is ever lining up to grab the shovel. No way. Is CRA on strike? Yes, it is. So that's part of the funny part, and we're going to get to that. So here's introducing the grocery rebate. Hey, we put it in new grocery rebate, a payment that will provide hundreds of dollars in support to 11 million Canadians. When you are thousands and thousands of dollars in debt, the government is there to give you hundreds of dollars of support one time. They call it a rebate. We're giving you a little bit. This is the funniest part. They're giving you money. They're taking all your money, but they're giving you money. Hey, this is a gift from us to you. Oh, God. You can't be serious. Oh, I wish this was a joke. To learn more about this measure from Budget 2023, watch the whole video on my new YouTube channel. And we all made fun of that, and that was fun. We had a great time doing that. But let's have a listen to what they're going to do about the fact that nobody in Canada seems to be able to afford food.
This is the new budget we just put forward. I want to draw your attention to something we put in on page 34, a new grocery rebate for Canadians. If you're a couple with 2 kids, you could get over $450. Let me take a minute to tell you why we created it and how it's going to support you. This is the new budget we just put forward.
Oh, I was gonna look for an Oprah meme. You get a check, you get a check, you get a check, everybody gets a check. Oh God. Well, hey, how is that gonna work out? They're giving out checks. Now CRA has just gone on strike. And of course they're going on strike right around tax season. And the whole point of that is to delay tax season, get a lot of people angry, and have the liberals jump in and basically give them everything that they want. You know, this is how government unions work. Unions on the government dime. Oh, it's crazy because, you know, someone who doesn't actually have to foot the bill is going to be in charge of giving them what they're asking for, holding taxpayers' taxes on hostage while they go on strike. But wow, I'm getting distracted here. I'm gonna read that later. But so not only, and I correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that the checks that are going out to help people in this dire time, well, good luck with that. They're on strike. Oh, oof. Well, that's not really working out in our favor. That's not working out. You know what would be an immediate way of doing this? And would have a huge effect right away? Get rid of the carbon tax. Why don't you get rid of the GST that Brian Mulroney brought in? That was a temporary measure until we balanced the budget. Yeah. So we had a balanced budget even under Harper, and he didn't get rid of the GST. That was a thing. You know, tax Freedom Day comes later and later and later every year. I remember when Tax Freedom Day came out. Maybe there's a video about this. I know the Fraser Institute put one out ages ago, but it is later and later every year. Tax Freedom Day. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully they don't have music on this, because that will really get things. Maybe. Play some other music on top of that. So, work to pay taxes. June 15th in 2022 was the day. You work to pay taxes up until that day. So we can get rid of that music. So this is how it works, right? So the calendar year, all the way up until June 15th, you're working for the government. Every cent that you make until that day is given away to the government. June 15th. Do the math. Do the math, everyone. Real quick. June is the 6th month of the year. Halfway through the 6th month of the year, out of 12 months, that means the government takes more than half of everything you earn. Everything you earn. Until June 16th, you're still working for the government. Every dollar you make goes directly into Big Trudy's pocket so he can dole it out in whatever way he wants. Give it to Ukraine. That's right. Give it to Ukraine. Give it to sex toys in European countries. Give it to whatever. These are all the things that the government likes to do with your tax dollars. Give it out in Serb to just anybody who applies. No questions asked. Here you go. I know some people were eligible and they got it, and some people got pushed back against when they even though they were eligible, and that was a debacle. Holy cow. But yeah, and millions of dollars to the left. Let's not forget that. Yeah, there was a big donation from the Trudeau Liberals, not from the Liberal Party, no, from the government. Yeah, drag shows, all of this stuff. This half of your entire year, more than half of your entire year, is devoted to giving away all of that to the government that's going to spend it poorly. I think we need to rein this in. I think it's time we rein this stuff in because people just can't deal with it. And not only that, the money that you get left over with afterwards, Clyde is a conspiracy. The money that you're left over with afterwards gets eaten up by all these invisible taxes that you don't get to see. So we pay the carbon tax when we buy fuel. We pay the carbon tax again when we heat our homes. But we don't see when the farmer pays the carbon tax, which we pay for in the prices of food. We don't see when the truck driver pays the carbon tax, which we pay in the price of everything. It comes on a truck. If it came on a truck, unless you grew it in your yard, likely came on a truck. This is the reality of things. There are even more taxes that you're paying indirectly through the rising cost of living in Canada due to all of these carbon taxes and GST as well. Companies get a rebate. All companies, if you're a business owner, you operate and you pay GST when you make your products or you make your service, you pass that on to the consumer, but then you get a rebate. You tell the government, I paid GST on all this stuff. You get all that back. No, it's the consumer at the end that pays it. We need to cancel all of this stuff. This is the reality of it. A rebate is just the government bribing you with your own money. It is so crazy. So crazy. Clyde works for the KGB. What is this? Amazing. We get a one-time rebate. Woo! Woo! If you're eligible. So here's a funny thing too. 11 million people are in poverty in Canada now. 11 million people. You know how you could instantly lift them out of poverty? Give them half their money back. I mean, we do have to collect taxes. Like, that's obvious. Give them half of the taxes back. Holy cow. That's exorbitant. And what do we get out of it? I remember growing up, the whole thing growing up was, I know it's expensive to live in Canada because the taxes are high, but we got free health care. Yeah, that's always been an argument. We got free health care, and well, it's not America. That's what I always heard growing up. Well, it's not America and free health care. Well, how's that working out, folks? How absolutely is that working out? We've got health care, and we're not allowed to seek out private health care when that fails us. Unless, and that's what I wanted to get into when talking about the Brian Day court case that was so devastatingly shut down. That after 14 years of fighting in the courts, goes all the way to the Supreme Court, and they didn't want to see it. They're just, nope, we're not seeing that. We can pay our taxes with our credit cards. Clyde, do something. Do worry. Oh, yes. Yeah, the thing of Justin Trudeau saying you can expand your home with your credit card. Yeah, that was real smart. That was real smart of him. Amazing stuff. But yeah, this is where we're at with this. Now, looking at this story. So Jimmy McJuggernuggets went on his tirade about greedflation, about the fact that people in business, they're just taking too many excess profits. You know, how can you possibly live in a society where the prices are so high because of excess profits that all the profiteers are making? Because somehow they should just pay their costs and then go home empty-handed, because that's how business works, right? Anyway, meanwhile in communist Canada, if only the multi-billion-dollar grocery store chain CEOs would not get that increase in his salary, maybe prices on the shelf would have fallen by about 0.0000037 cents. Not joking. This is what Jimmy McJuggernuggets has been arguing about. the fact that the CEO made so much money. He made so much dang money that everybody's out of, they're losing out. Well, what have we here? Galen Weston got a raise last year after consultants hired by Loblaw determined he was underpaid. Well, he was, compared to what other people are making. Now, this is the thing. When people see like someone got an $8.4 million salary, you're like, goodness gracious, that's a lot of money. Well, that is a lot of money. But CEOs are paid lots of money in multi-billion-dollar corporations. This is the way it goes. This is the rule of the roost. But that's the thing. People are bringing in. They're turning companies around and around and making sure that they stay afloat, especially with such low margins in the grocery store business. But I believe there's a video down at the bottom that explains a little bit more in depth about
it is no
this.
solace to struggling Canadians buying groceries to know that food inflation is a global phenomenon driven by higher commodity and input costs, or to know that food inflation in Canada is actually lower than many other G20 countries, including the US, the UK, and Mexico.
As unexpected as it may sound, grocery chains operate with extremely small profit margins, which means we have minimal influence on inflation. On a customer's $25 grocery basket, we earn just $1 in profit.
Do you hear that? On a basket of $25 worth of stuff, they only make $1 in profit. Nerds. That's funny in the chat. Nerds. But yeah, so small, you're a billionaire. Well, when you sell a lot of groceries, that adds up. Now, Henry Ford made an excellent point. He said he wanted to become a millionaire, and the way he said he was going to set out to do it was make sure everybody in America had a car, and in Canada, retrospectively. How did he do that? He made it affordable. He said, if I made $1 off of every car and I sold 1 million cars, I'll be a millionaire. And that was his outlook and the way of looking at it. So yeah, bringing lots and lots of food to the masses is a gigantic undertaking. It is a gigantic undertaking. And, you know, profit margins aren't so high in the grocery business. But because food is necessary for life, oh my goodness, will the sycophants use this to their advantage, because here come the feels. Here come the feels. Oh my goodness, poor people are going to get hungry, so they shouldn't be able to make a profit. No, they should be able to make a profit, because then they'll keep running a business.
Suggestions that we're somehow causing food inflation, using food inflation to inflate our profit margins, are not paying our fair share of taxes, are simply untrue.
For those who say grocers are profiteering, the math just doesn't add up.
We at Empire are not profiting from inflation. It doesn't matter how many times you say it, write it, or tweet it. It is simply not true. The truth is we are at the end of a very long food supply chain that has economic inputs at every step and stage.
We've been clear. It's the efficiency of our business and the strength of categories like cosmetics, even cough and cold, that have been driving our growth, not food.
Focusing on grocers will not solve the problem of food inflation, because we're not causing it and we're not benefiting from it.
Loblaw's net earnings went from just over $1 billion in 2019 to $2.2 billion in 2022, and Empire Co.'s net earnings went from $387 million in 2019 to $746 million in 2022. In terms of sales volumes, we've seen evidence that the sales volumes peaked or spiked at the beginning of the pandemic and then have been declining since. And lastly, you've increased your quarterly dividend payments to your shareholders.
We have families going into your stores, looking at the price of items, looking at them and putting them back because they can't afford them. We have families that are struggling to buy food for their kids in this country, in a G7 country.
and they look at you and they see you making record profits. You're making.
Don't look here where we're taxing the crap out of you. Where half of your year is given to Jimmy McJuggernuggets, who just got raised, by the way. Just got an excess profits and raise, who, of course, they voted on. They voted on their own raises. I mean, come on. You're in the parliamentary vote for... Okay, and then today on the docket, we're going to be voting for a raise. Whoa, for ourselves. I'm going to just put this on here. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Crickets, right? Oh, God. I honestly believe anytime that they get a raise, there should be a referendum on it. There should be, are you doing a good job? Do you get a raise? Everybody votes. No way should they be able to vote on their own raises, but they sure do. They sure do. And where does that money come from? It comes from half of your earnings every single year. Every single year, more than half of your earnings is taken away from you, and you don't even see it. You don't even see it because it goes away in payroll taxes if you're not a business owner, this kind of thing. They take it. They take it. They don't even see it. And at the end of the year, I honestly, if I was in government, I think the first thing I would do in office is I would outlaw payroll taxes. And I would say, nope, every Canadian has to pay their taxes on their own. You got to do it so that everybody can physically see how much money they had and how much they went away. I think that's a very important thing in society, that everybody, every single person that earns a living needs to see that happen. Don't let your boss do it behind the scenes. This is why they like payroll taxes. This is why they do stuff like when they increase payroll contributions, like contributions to CPP and things like that, your Canadian pension plan. They do it so that it fuddles the numbers. It moves it all around. But that's it. Lol, I want to see what Clyde would do as a politician. Oh God, yeah, no. This is why I'm not a politician. I wouldn't get voted in because I'm too animated in my thought process, especially when it comes to these dolts. Holy cow! How does a guy with an expensive Rolex stand up there and bitch and moan about a company making a few bucks per basket of groceries to provide a service? I honestly, I want to give people a homework assignment. Honestly, if you've never read the book is just fantastic. Let me look it up here because it applies so well to this situation. It's a book called where is it? This is going to give information about me, isn't it? This website. No, there's no information on me on this. This book is called Atlas Shrugged. It was written a long time ago. A long time ago. And it's one of my favorite novels, honestly. And it really highlights this situation. Because the whole story is about the leaders of industry, the leaders of the people that make the world turn. Everything that goes around, they add, in this story, they have the same sort of people like Singh in government, and the government keeps saying, you need to pay your fair share. You need to do more. You need to do more. But they don't realize that it's actually the industry leaders, the people that are making the businesses run, are making life worth, worth salt. You know what I mean? Without them, everything falls apart. And so what happens? One day, a lot of these industry people just walk away. They just disappear, and they're left with their industries just sitting there idle, and everybody doesn't know what to do. And what would happen? So the reason for the title of the book is Atlas in the, you know, the old mythology was Atlas was the god that held the earth on his shoulders. And what would happen if Atlas one day were to just shrug and let it go? Give it to the looters and the moochers, as Ayn Rand wrote in that book, who are the people like Jimmy McJuggernuggets that are saying, you deserve more, you people. These people are taking everything from us. No, these people are providing jobs for a lot of people and making it so you don't have to create industry. They've already created it. You can just go do your job and not take any risk. That's the way things go. Bye Globe in the chat. Ready to give that up or continue? I don't know what that means. Who is John Galt? Exactly. That is the big question. What is Elon Musk Atlas Tesla symbol? Or is that? Oh, what is that? Elon Musk Atlas equals Tesla symbol. Tesla symbol. No, I don't know. Tesla symbol. I don't know. I'd have to look that up. What do we got here? Tesla logo. The Tesla logo. Oh, is that what that's supposed to be? It's supposed to be Atlas holding the globe? I don't know if that's what that was about. But yeah, interesting, amazing read. Speaking of Elon Musk, he says the damnedest things. Here's one from today. Elon Musk says any parent or doctor who sterilizes a child should get life in prison. And that is, wow, a very powerful statement, but it is a very good one. On Friday, Twitter owner Elon Musk stated that the parents or doctors who facilitate the sterilization of a child before they are an adult should go to prison for life. And I think that this is actually just. Absolutely. Because no matter who you are and what you think that a child's dreams and aspirations of are one day, you can never, ever take away the ability for them to procreate. That is just evil. Evil. Any parent or a doctor who sterilizes a child before they are a consenting adult should go to prison for life, Elon Musk wrote in a tweet. And this was in response to Governor DeSantis. You can sex change your child for Florida. What? You can't sex change for your child in Florida. Yeah, good. The comment came in response to a tweet from the redheaded libertarian comparing Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' stance on child sex change to a recent opinion piece posted by MSNBC. Governor DeSantis, you can't change sex for your child in Florida, she tweeted, accompanied by MSNBC stating, Ron DeSantis' desperation for power is destroying the entire state. Well, people in Florida, I don't think would agree with that necessarily. I think they're pretty happy with the governor. In fact, a lot of people are in fact losing. They're afraid of losing the governor if he were to run a successful presidential bid and take the presidency. That they would be sad to see him go. The piece written by columnist Michael A. Cohen claims that DeSantis moves to protect children from irreversible harm brought on by so-called gender-affirming care, among other issues. This has made Florida the meth lab of American democracy. Genital operations involve the removal of healthy existing sex organs, and on its place are dysfunctional sex organs made purely for show. Those who undergo these surgeries are left infertile, and many parents who start their children on the path towards these surgeries are told about freezing their children's sperm or eggs. which is they're children. They're children. Complications associated with vaginoplasties. I think that's the dichiotomy, which a neovagina is constructed from existing penile tissue or part of the colon. Grotesque. Includes the hole healing closed if dilation is not done. Bacterial and fungal infections, fistulas, urinary tract infections, among other complications. Not to mention the puberty blockers that they put children on. Those puberty blockers can also render people sterile. In cases of phalloplasties, I think that's the I don't know. Complications include fistulas, necrosis of the skin used to graft the penis, urethral complications, and other issues like infection and bleeding. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is this is something that people are okay with. This is mutilation. What are we doing? What are we even talking about? Now, consenting adults can do whatever the heck they want. That's a realistic thing. And people want to do this stuff, can't stop them. But if it's ever done to children, I'm going to have to agree with Elon Musk here. Any parent or doctor who sterilizes a child before the age of consent should get life in prison. I think that is a crime. That is an absolute crime. But that's where we are today. And where we are in this stream? We're at the 2-hour mark. It has been 2 hours, like always. Hey, what do we do after the streams? Well, we go over to the Discord and we hang out and we have some wobbly pops together, and it's a good old fun Friday night. And this is the tradition here with the Clyde Do Something channel. The link is in the description down below. If you're new to the channel, you're new to the community, and you don't know about Discord, or you are part of Discord and you haven't seen our channel, our server, the server's in the description down below. If you're new to Discord, you never used it, it can be a little like, what am I doing? But any social media platform will be that when you first join in. But it's a lot of fun. It's a social media where you can have separate servers with lots of different chat rooms in it for specific things. It also gives very good video and voice chat rooms, which we take full advantage of. And then we hang out. We have some wobbly pops and enjoy the rest of the Friday evening. We talk about all kinds of stuff. And then I get to hear from you guys as well. So lots of fun. Glad catching up with everybody. Glad to see so many people turning up for the live stream and hanging out. And I think we might have some changes coming along in the near future. We're just trying to evolve stuff as things have been progressing. I know I want to really push a bit of a focus on academia in Canada. I think of course, I'm still going to be focusing on media and media lying to us all the time. But I think if we really want to push the envelope and we want to change the culture, because culture, politics are downstream from culture. We will change politics if we change the culture. The politicians don't try to pick a good one, cool, but they're all going to be crooks. They're all going to do this stuff. They're only going to follow if the majority of Canadians want a thing to go a certain way. If you can change the culture, you can change the politics. So let's get involved. We've let this all go to the crazy lefties. Those leftoids have done their thing. Waniska, thank you so much for the $22 super sticker. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Right at the end of the stream there. But yeah, let's make the push. And if you're into it, come lurk in the Discord. Come hang out in the Discord. Let us know your input. We're going to go talk about this. But yeah, academia, I think, is the place where we should really be pushing our ideas, because they can't keep doing this when they're tone deaf. They're tone deaf because they're in their own echo chambers. And we need, as a community of our own, if it starts becoming an echo chamber, we need to invite more people in that possibly disagree with us. We need to open up our horizons and expand. That's the object of the game. Don't want to get caught in an echo chamber. That's for sure. So, well, that's about it. So we're going to take it over to Discord. We'll see you guys in the next one. Of course, as always, keep on trying.